here in the perimeter, there are no stars. Out here, we is stoned, immaculate.
Hello and welcome. This is the C86 show. I'm David Eastaugh. As you know, we love a special guest. This week it's going to be the turn of Leigh Goorney, who I spoke to very recently to find out more about life, love, poetry and all that other groovy stuff. Was formerly known as Kenny Wisdom for a short period of time and has got a new musical combo that are titled The Long Decline. They've got a new album that is coming out. I will put a link of that Bandcamp page in the notes below, so you'll be able to click on that and find out more about that particular release and various other bits and pieces. So this is the interview. We did have a few technical issues beforehand, but we eventually got it sorted out. So reception-wise is pretty good. I was pleased with it in the end. So look, after several minutes of interesting but casual chat, we get down to the exciting subject of the early formative years. Leigh, it's over to you.
I was born in 1956, and the Beatles. The first record I ever bought was A Hard Day's Night by the Beatles. I loved the Beatles, still love the Beatles. And then when I was like 13 or so, I heard Neil Young. I absolutely adore Neil Young. And he's not let me down since. Well, he has a few times, but not much. So Beatles, Neil Young, Dylan, all the greats, really.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
and did you?
like...
And I was going to say, did you have any brothers or sisters that had any musical influence on you at all?
Well, I was the oldest, so I think I influenced my brothers more than that. You know. I know when I go and say my brothers, we normally play records that I have, that I love as well.
Yes, and then so you were sort of 13 in 1969. So then you'd obviously started to get into not only just the Beatles, but were you getting into the whole world of psychedelic rock at that point as well? I know you're a bit young, but were other bands like the Stones and the Kings and the...
Yeah.
Pardon?
Let me check the connection. Oh. Yeah, I'm connected still. Sorry, I was just checking the internet connection.
We okay?
Well, because I thought I was on my hotspot, but I don't know. I think it's because we were okay with the last interview, so...
You frozen, David? No.
Hello?
No, I'm not frozen.
Hello?
I'm here still.
It's just very laggy, sorry.
It is laggy.
Okay. Should we carry on?
Well, is that okay? Are you still on the hotspots bit, or have you got your Wi-Fi?
No, I'm connected to my Wi-Fi.
Right. Okay, then. Is that so? Did any? Yes. Okay. Well, look. Let's do that again, because otherwise that will be a bit tricky. So, yes, your early musical awakening. You were born 1960 or 56, weren't you? So, yes, your early musical awakening. Over to you.
Well, the first record I ever bought was Hard Day's Night by the Beatles. I love the Beatles. I still love the Beatles. When I was like 13, I think 14, I heard Neil Young, and I absolutely loved Neil Young. And then punk rock happened, and I loved punk rock. So all that sort of stuff, really. Lots of different stuff.
Yes, but when you got to the 1970, you would have been 14 at that point. Had you, after your discovery and love of the Beatles, did you also get into the world of psychedelic rock with bands like, Jefferson Airplane, Jimi Hendrix, The Doors, anything like that? Was the West Coast kind of filtering into your consciousness?
Yes. I think I probably... Well, I don't know, I might have been slightly older when I heard Forever Changes by Love, which is just one of the greatest records of all time. And I mean, Jefferson Airplane, I quite liked that. I liked them. Some of the bands I didn't really like. I wasn't that keen on the Grateful Dead. But I was also, listening to people like Bob Dylan, stuff like that as well. All kinds of stuff, really.
And what was the first gig you went to? What was the first gig you went to, by the way?
It was T-Rex at Birmingham Odeon, and it was the day or before or the day after Get It On had come out. So that was the first gig, I think.
Yes, and where were you born and brought up? What was your childhood town or area that you lived in?
in Birmingham.
Right. So that was your sort of centre place, actually. Had they got the bull ring by
Yeah.
then?
Yes. Yeah. I think you've been there for a long time.
Yes, well, absolutely. I remember as a small child hearing stories about the Spaghetti Junction. It seemed to be rather exciting and exotic somehow. I don't know why, but if you lived in the countryside in East Anglia, motorways did used to sort of make us all very giddy as country bumpkins. So that must have been exciting. And then as the 70s progressed, obviously, you come from Birmingham, the home of heavy metal, really. Did Black Sabbath come onto your radar?
Not at all. I never liked heavy metal. Not
Right.
my thing at all.
Yes. So when you got to the ripe old age of 16, which, if I'm doing my maths right, would have been about 1973, did you leave school at that point or did you stay on?
I left school around about that point and went to a tech college.
Right.
Uh, yeah. So that time there was obviously Bowie was happening a lot. I love Bowie, people like that. But I also, I was listening to Neil Young more than anyone. I still listen to Neil Young more than anyone. I don't know why. I love Neil
Yes.
Young. Not that my music sounds like Neil Young at all, but I love
Did
Neil
you
Young.
did you also get into Buffalo Springfield and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young? Was that vibe your go-to place?
Yeah, yeah. So the first Neil Young I heard was after the Gold Rush, when that came out, 1970. And then I worked to Buffalo Springfield, and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Yeah, I was never not so keen on Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young because Graham Nash wasn't very good.
Yes.
Bit wimpy for me.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
yeah, yeah.
So the West
I
Coast.
like it was good. Yeah, and sort of the Birds, people like that. I used to love the Birds. Jangly guitars, 12-string guitars, wonderful sound. And Love Forever Changes is one of the greatest records ever made.
Well, absolutely. Did you were you a little bit obsessed with the Laurel Canyon singer-songwriter scene as well from that period of people like Joni Mitchell and Carole King and various other kind of people strumming away guitars, writing beautiful lyrics?
I was never that keen on James Taylor. Never did it for me. I like Joni Mitchell. Carole King's not really my thing. Um, yeah, it's a bit wimpy, some of that stuff. I think James Taylor stuff. It was never for me. But I love Joni Mitchell. But I liked her more when she sort of got a band behind her and did that sort of jazzy rock stuff. That was really good.
Right, yes, the Mingus period as well as Jaco Pastorius on bass, which was all very, very exciting. So then, having embraced the sort of the world of Love and the Beatles, and then Neil Young and his acoustic sort of period, what was it like then when sort of 75, 76 came along, and then there was that kind of beginning of punk with people like Doctors of Madness, the Damned, the Ramones. Did punk sort of light a fire under your consciousness?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because there was the whole pub rock thing before then. I used to go to see those sort of gigs. So, I'd go see Dr. Feelgood and Brinsley Schwartz. These were just great bands. And then when punk happened, it was just wonderful. I loved it. I felt connected to it. I felt part of it. I was disillusioned with the whole sort of hippie thing by then. So when punk
Right.
happened, yeah, that was my thing. I loved it.
Yes. And were you still in Birmingham during the late 70s? Did you stay in Birmingham at that stage?
I was in Birmingham till the November 77, and I moved to London.
Right.
November
What
77.
November 77. So what was the reason for your big kind of shift from Birmingham down to London?
Well, all my friends were moving down to London. That was one reason. And Birmingham felt a bit silly to say this, really, but Birmingham just felt too small for me. I wanted to go where the action was, and that was London.
Yes. So what happened? So you'd finished. Did you say you went to tech college in the 70s? So that had obviously finished at some time.
Yeah, that finished 75, I think.
Right.
And then there
So
was like a couple of years of just hanging out, doing nothing, smoking dope and being stupid, and then then I moved down to London.
Yes. So then what happens with your sort of musical period in the late 70s at this point, as we move towards the world of, the Thatcher era and all that political change that we had in the 80s? What was that sort of, what were you doing musically at that point?
I wasn't doing any music myself. I was going to lots of gigs, you know, in London. Used to go, Lyceum used to have a gig every Sunday night. Used to go to all those gigs and saw those bands. And some of those bands became friends of mine. So it was good. I had a good time.
Yes. And did you, when we crept into the 80s, did you keep your interest in the sort of the more indie pop world that started to happen in the sort of London scenes at that point, when punk had sort of had its day and then we had that post-punk period? What was it like during that next phase?
I wasn't that keen on a lot of that stuff. I remember going to see Echo and the Bunnymen and the Teardrop Explode, and the enemy was saying, this is the new band, these are great, and I went to see them, and I thought they were terrible, and I thought this is the end of punk, this sort of what I thought was sort of just semi hippie rubbish. So yeah, I wasn't that keen on it. I like some of the punk bands that still existed that have got a bit arty. So I was listening to, I mean, they're friends of mine, like Alternative TV and Subway Sex, and bands like the Mekons I really loved, and the Slits, that sort of bands, the more arty bands, who came out of punk. That's what I was into.
Yes, absolutely. So then, did you then sort of become the founder of this record label called Noiseville Records? Was this your
Okay.
enterprise?
Kind of. So this is so so in 1983. No, sorry, 84, 85. I was a student at Thames Poly in Woolwich, which is now Greenwich University. And I was a social secretary. And I put on all the bands that I liked. And in fact, we did an album. Um,
Oh, have you got an album there? Just bring it to your left. Just bring it to my. Oh, there you
yeah.
go. There you go. Live at Thames Poly. This is amazing. My
And
God,
we had like,
Bogshed, the very
I'll
things
read out.
conflict. Wow, that
Yeah,
is
you can read it.
amazing.
Mark Perry.
Yes, and this
Uh,
was your creation.
yeah. So I did that for a year. And one of the bands that we put on was Alternative TV, and me and Mark Perry got on very well, and he asked me to manage them afterwards. So I sort of managed them, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and created Noise Records, and we put out a couple of singles by ATV, Alternative TV. So that's all that Noise ever did was 2 singles.
Yes, but so with this compilation that you brought out or you put together live at Thames Poly, so were these all the bands that you put on during that period?
Yes, yeah,
Basically, I mean, that's an amazing lineup from, obviously not all on the same night, but from Big Flame, June Brides, the Mekons, Ut, the X, Bogshed, and also you had the Poison Girls Conflict, the Very Things Nightingales, and Five Go Down to the Sea, which a classic band. Yeah. So you were definitely on the
right,
musical
yeah.
zeitgeist at this point, weren't you?
Well, I just put on what I liked, and yeah, so that's what we did.
And then what was
So
your
yeah, I think we put on some good stuff.
So how long were you at Thames Poly for? Was that a 3-year degree course, and you were the social secretary during that time?
Just for the 1 year after I finished, so 84, 85, I was the social secretary.
Right, my God, it was a kind of a bit of a golden time. I
Was
said, well, it was there was like the 3 weekly music papers, the NME, Melody Maker
yeah,
Sounds, John Peel Show. There was Janice Long, Kid
yeah,
Jensen. There was a lot of bands that happened during the 80s, which would have been circulating and on the live circuit. So I don't know. It must have been quite exciting. They must have felt a bit of energy. So once that finished, how
yeah.
did you navigate your next phase in life, your 80s, the late
Well,
80s?
like I said, I managed ATV for a while and put out those 2 singles. And then we didn't do anything. And then in the early 90s, I started writing songs and got the band along to come together. And we just recorded and put out our fourth album. It's called
Yes.
Moribunding.
So your first one, which was eventually released in 1997, which was self-titled at that point. Yeah. So how did that? So with your band, did you sort of have a regular lineup at this point of musicians?
We sort of settled into one, yeah, for the first album. And we had a couple of sort of legends in the band, which was a bit strange. We had Mark Perry of ATV was playing drums, and Vic Goddard was from the Subway set was playing guitar. So that was a bit odd. But I was doing most of the writing and singing in my own peculiar way. But we weren't like a punk band at all. So it was a bit mislit. Well, it was a bit strange having Mark and Vic in the band, and we weren't a
Yes.
sort of punk band, you know.
And did you ever play
yeah,
live? Did you ever go and do any tours at this stage?
We only played in London, and I think we did a gig in Nottingham once with
Yes.
Gina Birch of the Raincoats. She had a band called The Hangman. We played
Right.
with them in Nottingham, I think.
Yes.
But yeah, we just played in London, really.
And that was on Overground Records that was released on, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so the second album comes out 3 years later. Has that got a different lineup, or is that quite a similar sort of
Yeah.
a different lineup?
A totally different band. Totally different, yeah. So, yeah, I teamed up with the main guy on it is Lee McFadden, who is still in the band, plays with thousands of different bands. He's in the current version as well, Maps, and I think he plays in ATV as well. So he joined, and then we had various people coming in and out of the band, and yeah, but Big God, I was on a few tracks on the second album. Do a song with Gina Birch from the Raincoats.
Amazing, yes.
Yeah.
That's and this is another different record label, isn't it? You were on at this point, or is this one that you created yourself?
Yeah. No, it was a small American label called Wabana.
Yes.
Heard our stuff and were kind enough to put it out. Yeah.
Blimey, that is very. So that was 2000. So then, is it the case then that you sort of have to have a sort of a day job to sort of hustle around, and then in your evenings and weekends you manage to make music?
Yeah, more or less at that time. Yeah. I'm 69 now, so I don't work. But yeah, I was working in boring jobs.
Yes,
Through
it
that
does.
period. Yeah.
Nice. But then when you put the third album out, Decomposure, again, you've got Carl Blake on drums. So were you kind of familiar with that sort of group? Yes. Did you have quite a different lineup again? Have I frozen?
Yeah. No, you did for a second, but we're okay now. Yeah, so Lee McFadden's on the album. I think Carl's only on a couple of tracks, but Carl's an old friend of mine, a lovely guy, and I was very, very happy for him to play on a couple of tracks. Sexton Ming plays drums on a couple of tracks as well, I think. Yeah.
Yes, well, that's quite something, actually. And with that, this was on Sniffing Glue Records. So how many kind of do you manage to... Did you say no? I said, was it on Sniffing
didn't
Glue?
say anything.
Oh, I said, was it on Sniffing Glue
it
Records?
Yeah, so it was just Mark Perry set it up.
Right.
To put out the album.
Fantastic. That is very nice, actually. Which then leads us to your new release, which came out this year, 2025, Moribundin. When did you start sort of writing this?
So it's been a 19-year wait between the last album, Decomposure, and this new album, Moribunding.
Yes.
And the reason why is because I just didn't write for a long time. And then in 2023, I started writing again for some reason. And I started collaborating with Kevin Younger, who's used to be in the Subway sect and lives near me. And we So we collaborated, wrote a few songs, and then I got the old band back together, plus Kevin, and we've done this album. And then we got Vic Goddard help. I wrote a couple of songs with Vic Goddard as always set, and he's put the album out. And I got Mark Perry in as well to put the keyboards on one song. So yeah, it's
It's something of a super group, and it's been produced by Cos Chapman, who's been in a lot of bands. Because I did an interview with him quite a few years ago.
He said to say hello.
Oh, did he? Well, that's nice of him. Yes, because has he still got his band that he was doing, the Rude? Is it Mechanicals?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think he's still with them. Yeah.
Yes. So with this particular release, is that going to be available on Bandcamp as well as CD?
So it's available on Bandcamp, and it's available on CD and also download. But get the CD because we put a lot of work into the cover, and there's lots of stuff in the booklet. It's a good little package.
It's a very nice. Who did the incredible artwork?
Dill.
Oh.
Dill.
Oh, that was in my hand.
Well, absolutely.
Our drummer Dill.
Right. Hello there. I was just complimenting the artwork, actually, saying it's a very beautiful little piece, actually.
Thank you very much.
Well, no, it's very striking, actually. So it was like
it's a collaboration.
Well, no,
you know, like Leigh spent a lot of time with me, telling me exactly what he wanted, and I put in my ideas, and we came up with it together. Really.
Yes.
Yeah, I could. It's brilliant.
Oh no. Well, there's your guidance under your guidance, which is great.
Well, it's
I'm a benign dictator.
Yeah, well, absolutely. So going through the songs on the new album, do you want to just explain how a few of them came about? Like, To a Better Place, which also features on backing vocals Vic. So how did this song happen?
So this is the only song that I didn't write all the lyrics for. I basically completed it, a song that Goddard had written. So he'd written the tune and the first verse and the chorus, and then I sort of finished. I wrote the second verse, and then we collaborated on the third verse. I don't normally write like this, and I've tried before and it never worked, but this time it really worked well, I think. So it was Vic's idea, and it's it's a song about refugees and their struggles, and that's something I feel very empathetic towards. I've written songs before with mentioned refugees. So yeah, I was very happy to do this song, and it's one song we spent hours on. I like to record quickly, but this one took a long time to get right. But I think we've done it, and also I feel a bit bad about writing a song about refugees, basically making money out of other people's misery. So in the booklet for that song, each song has a page. We put I put a little thing about Choose Love, which is a charity that helps refugees. I thought that was important to do.
Yes, absolutely. It's a nice touch, actually. And there's a song towards the penultimate song on the album, "The Killing of Kenny Wisdom." Do you want to explain that? Because quite recently, I did an interview, bizarrely, with Terence Trent D'Arby, who now refuses to acknowledge that name and almost that person that he was. I was just wondering, is this a similar thing, the killing of Kenny Wisdom?
So I called myself Kenny Wisdom on our previous records, and it just felt right for me now to use my real name. It wasn't I can't intellectualize it. It was intuitive. And I wrote the song about it. Why I've changed my name to my real name. So that's all that is. It's not any great statement. It's that song, really.
No, absolutely. Then your third song, "Angry Again," where did this kind of idea come from?
Okay, so I was watching the Queen's It was a period when the Queen died, and her children did some sort of vigil by her side, and they all had swords. And I thought, why have they got swords? Why have they got these swords? What's the point of that? What's it trying to tell us? And I don't like the royal family. I think they're a load of parasites. And I thought, well, what animals celebrate its parasites like we do? So I wrote the song and put all these images from nature in there, and then contrasted it with the images of um, the royal family. So I put quite a bit. I think I'm going to be angry again when the host animal celebrates its parasites. They ride in gold-gilded carriages, and the shark fetus eats its brother before it's even born. I think I'm going to be angry again when the host animal celebrates its parasites. They parade with their swords by their cannons just to rub it in. So yeah, that's what that's about. not a fan of the royal family.
No, I kind of
But
got that sense.
Why do they have swords? Why do they have cannons going off? What's that saying? That's saying don't mess with us, doesn't it?
Well, absolutely.
Nearly saw that.
Yes, they look like they could be very painful if you slipped over and tripped over, and it sort of lodged into your groin.
And if I went to a funeral with wearing a sword, I think I'd be arrested, quite rightly.
Yes, well, it would be
One rule for them, another rule for us.
indeed. It would be a little bit odd. But then Oppressive Tranquility, the next song, where does this kind of idea come from?
So, in 1975, when I was like 18, I went on the hippie trail to India. And I went to this place, which was like a Buddhist holy place called Bodh Gaya. It's where Buddha supposedly got enlightenment. And it's the most beautiful place, full of temples and these monks and everything. A very peaceful, quiet, lovely place. And I absolutely hated it. And obviously the memories of that going there sort of stayed in me for 50 years. And because I wrote this song about it, about the oppressive tranquility of this place. I don't know where I picked it up, but I think somebody told me that people went mad at this place, and I can really understand why. I think I stayed there 3 days, and then I just had to get out.
Right,
So
your
wrote
hippie period went. Yes, oh, that's very
Yeah.
interesting. And did you? And at that
So, yeah,
stage, were you going to stone circles and Stonehenge and tripping out on the Light Fantastic and watching Hawkwind?
yeah, though I never liked Hawkwind, but yeah, I used to go to Stonehenge Festival. Yeah, yeah, it was good fun. I saw Dungeon TV play there.
Oh, there you go. Okay. And then your next song, Sweet Melissa. Where was
Yeah.
this? Is this something that happened that 50 years ago? Or was this a bit more recent?
It's a bit more recent, but it's kind of made up, and it's sort of a mixture of different people, really. But yeah, about the sort of women that I admire, I suppose.
Yes. Well, there you go. That's good enough. And then Decency, your next song. This has got Vic Goddard on it.
Yeah, Vic wrote the music to this one. So it's really a lyric about people I despise who call themselves decent. So there's 4 verses. I talk about televangelists who are caught with prostitutes. I talk about hunters who kill everything that moves, missionaries who tell poor people that birth control is a sin, and then like final verse who talk about Nazis and Himmler. Himmler says he's decent, says he's improving the genetic pool, murdering subhumans using perverted science. Decency is indecent. So I go, it starts off with something not that horrible, a hypocritical TV evangelist, and ends up with a Nazi murdering people. And Himmler, if you read about him, thought he was decent.
Yes.
So that's why I put it in there. There's a quote I found. Him had told his daughter in life, one must always be decent, courageous, and kind-hearted. You know, this is one of the biggest murderers of all time.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I think there's
So, yeah, that's my.
interesting enough. I think there's a film that's sort of coming out at the cinemas this month, isn't there? Called Nuremberg, which is about Hermann Göring, and again, you know, this
Right.
a sort of happily content family man, but obviously with a slightly, you know, weird day job, if you could put it as such, really. But yes,
Well,
uh,
he's very interesting because he wasn't a racist. He didn't believe in all that stuff, but he didn't care. He didn't care what was happening. He took part in it, but he didn't believe in Himmler and Hitler's racist views on the Aryan race. But he was happy to go along with it. Probably makes him even worse than those other guys.
well, yes. Well,
Yeah,
but the first ever single you wrote or released, "I'm a Jew."
yeah,
So
yeah,
yes, so does that? I mean, obviously that's quite a title for a track, isn't it?
yeah. And there's lots of swearing on it. Can I swear on this thing or
Oh
not?
yes, do swear away. We don't mind. I hope.
Oh, okay. So the song came about. I was actually chatting with Mark Perry, and I said we were talking about being English, and I said to him, "Actually, I feel more Jewish than English," and he was really surprised. And he said, "Well, how come? Because you don't believe in God, and you don't support Israel, you don't do anything Jewish." And so I sort of thought about it and wrote the song. And basically, the way it rolls, it sort of goes is, "I'm a Jew, fuck you," and then talks about various things that's happened to the Jewish people and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, yeah, I was very pleased with that song. People seem to like it, and I ended up doing like interviews with the Jewish Chronicles and weird things like that. You know, and I'm thinking myself particularly Jewish or anything like that, but I am Jewish. But yeah, so it was a bit of an odd one that, but yeah, it was Enemy Single of the Week back in '95 or so.
Right. Well, there you go. The height of Britpop, and
And
you're
we sort
straight
of
in
gave it
there.
a sort of
Well, it's great.
yeah,
That's got to go.
it was a sort
And
of
then
folky thing.
I was going to say you're coming back to the album. The last track on it, "Gold," not the banal
Oh yeah,
Stendhal Ballet song. So was this one of those ones that you wrote quite recently, or was this one that you'd had sort of knocking about?
it was quite recent. I wrote the last verse first, um, which is about people eating gold-plated steaks, um, which I find quite disgusting. And yeah, gold leaf-coated steaks, which I just think is vital. And then I went back and wrote about the history of how gold is created in supernovas and how it's prospected by desperate men and somebody who makes a lot of money, but not the miners and all that sort of thing. And then the uses of it. And then I do this thing about the rich man eats steak coated in gold leaf, thinks he's so decadent, but I think he's an ignorant, and then I say a very bad swear word.
Yes, well, absolutely. And then, just interestingly enough, on the album, just there's a track called "Searching for a Tribe."
Yeah.
Was this an existential kind of song about sort of community?
This was the quickest song I've ever written, I think. I heard somebody talking about when they were young, they were searching for a tribe. I thought, well, that's interesting. And I thought about myself. And then I just wrote about myself, how when I was, when I was 14, I wanted to be a hippie. And then in 1976, I was a punk. And then in 1982, I was a communist. And now I'm in my late 60s and I'm not looking for tribe really. But maybe part of me is still hippie and communist sort of thing. So yeah, it's sort of, it seems to resonate with a lot of people, that song, because I think a lot of people have gone through a similar sort of thing of my generation, my age, you know.
Well, yes, absolutely. With the sort of added bonus of sort of potentially getting your state pension and retirement, and a bus pass and free prescriptions. So what not to like, apart from sort of the fact that you start to lose your memory and you have endless doctors and dentist appointments if you can manage to find one. But on the plus side, you probably, oh, did you get your fuel allowance?
I think so. I got a letter saying I was going to get it. I don't think it's arrived yet.
Well, then that's probably £200 in the bank. There you go. That's good. So with the albums come out, which is amazing. So are you going to be playing any live dates for this, or any particular shows, or how are you going to sort of launch it into the world?
I'd like to do some gigs. But, our bass player's a bit poorly at the moment, so once she gets better, we'll do some gigs. But yeah, I'll probably wait till the new year now. I think.
Yes.
Hopefully, she'll be better by then.
Okay. But then, you got everybody else is on board for sort of promoting it. And do you have any
Yeah,
you know, did you enjoy the process of making the album and getting the songs, the music, the artwork? Did you, after such a long break, has it been an enjoyable ride?
very enjoyable. I absolutely love it. Loved it. I get an initial idea, go to Kev or whoever, you get some music to it, and then we do the arrangements and get the band together, do the arrangements and record. I love doing that. I love being creative like that. Creating something out of nothing is just the most wonderful thing to do. I recommend
Yes.
it to anyone.
Well, absolutely. And do you have any, after this, you're not going to wait another 19 years before the next release, are you?
I hope not. I hope
You,
not.
you will be
I've got a
nearly
couple of ideas
90.
for
Oh,
songs.
good. Well, that would be amazing. Well, look, this has been fantastic. Well, thank you for your time. And if you want, I can always send you the link of this interview. I mean, the quality is okay. People will be able to hear bits of it, but hopefully it will resonate and become fantastically well known to the population. But yes, it's been an enjoyable ride listening to your back catalogue as well. So yes, so thank you for this. This is
Yeah.
good. I'm glad we managed to sort of work it out after our rather aborted attempt last time. But that's technology for you.
Yeah.
Thank God for the, I don't know, tablet.
Yes. Thank you, Dale, for
That's what
letting
I'm
me come
here.
over and do it.
That's what
Yes,
I'm
thank
here
you,
for.
Dill. That's been a lifesaver for us old folk who just couldn't work it out at all. So, Dill, are you the artwork director and also your drummer, the drummer?
I am.
You were the art director and the artist for this, as well as the drummer.
Yes.
Nice. Is this the first album you've ever played on?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was like what 9 when the first one came out. So
Yes. Well,
um,
there you
and
go.
I've been involved with the band for like 12 years, and they said it's been like what 19 years since the last one. So yeah, it's yeah. So
Well,
this is my first one. It is great. It's great. It's just it is a privilege because obviously I've admired the band. Every musician who's been in the band, just happy to be part of it.
yeah.
Dale's
Well,
been absolutely brilliant. As have everyone else. All the people in the band have been absolutely brilliant.
and that, dear listener, is the end of the interview. A massive thank you to Leigh for giving me the time for that, and also Dill, who popped in at the end. Well, obviously, that was her house and on her computer device or tablet, I think they call it. I know the quality wasn't absolutely amazing, and the connection sometimes wavered, but at the same time, nice to hear about his musical career, and do check out the links in the notes below. This has been the C86 show, David Eastaugh. So if you want to contact me, feel free, and all these interviews have been archived on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean. Have a great week. Stay safe. in conversation with Leigh Goorney, talking about his life in music. As I said, I'll put a link in the notes below to the band's Bandcamp page, The Long Decline. This has been David Eastaugh, the C86 show. If you want to contact me, you can just go via any of the social media platform sites. And all these interviews have been archived on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean. It's true. Have a great week. Stay safe.